Okay, as I promised, we're going to just dive in because we're getting better at that. But we did have a little bit of a breakthrough on Friday, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. First, if you remember from Friday, which you probably don't, Scott Adams suggests that make predictions. If you want to find out if you're on track and you're thinking right, predict the way something's going to come out and see how you do. And of course, what I love about that perspective is that it follows right along with the way direct marketing works. That's the way we think in direct marketing. We think, let's come up with a hypothesis. Let's come up with a scientifically valid test panel. Let's figure this out. And that's going to loop around to my final story today. And my Periscope still isn't running, which doesn't matter because I'm not really looking for it to run, right? It's probably out there, and I can't see your comments until it comes up, and it's not coming up. It just isn't showing that I'm online at all. Though it says I'm streaming on my other sources. So, I get a little tired of that, how long it takes to show up. And it's the delay. So let's keep going. I already burned up a couple of minutes. The first thing I want to talk about, as I said, is my apology. On Friday, I talked about how I believed that the missile defense system shot down the airliner and that we were going to find out that the missile defense system was AI related and that AI bunked up. How should we put this? AI shot down the missile, couldn't tell the difference between a missile and a military base. And someone did point out on Twitter that they kind of missed the military base, but they hit a very small, in comparison, airliner. But it turns out that it was probably some trigger-happy fighter pilot or ground-to-air. I don't remember what kind exactly. But it wasn't the sort of automated AI-based missile system that, if you remember, the Israelis deployed in one of their challenges with the missiles being launched at them, a U.S. joint venture. So I retract that guess. It turned out to be wrong, but it could have been right. And so make guesses. That's my takeaway. I'm not going to stop making guesses, and you're not going to stop enjoying seeing my guesses. And that still doesn't show me streaming, and I can't quite figure out why. And maybe I'm not streaming. Who knows? I can go over here to my YouTube channel, see if I'm streaming there. Do I see anybody live there? And YouTube has totally botched up their own site. They tried to put in a fancy video editor, and what they did was end up goofing up the. No, I see the one from yesterday. So it's possible I'm not streaming at all. Let's go over here and look. It's titles. Let's go to the dashboard, and I see just dots. Nope, there it is. Okay, so I'm streaming to somewhere. We're not sure what, but Periscope doesn't seem to be connected to me. Restream says it's going out, so it'll probably turn up later. Anyway, Amazon was sued back a few years ago because, what was interesting to me, and I did report on it a little bit. What was interesting to me was that they were sued on the basis of wiretap laws, because it's the suit alleged that Amazon was essentially wiretapping homes. And, I mean, part of why I don't really want one is that's what it is. It's voice controlled stuff. I mean, my phone is doing the same thing, and from what I've read, your TV set might be doing it, and who knows who else is doing it. But at least with Alexa, it's pretty transparent. You say, "Wake up, Alexa," and it, it's listening because it wakes up. And Amazon alleges that in order to use the thing, you have to sign it or you have to agree to its use rules. And if your kids, and then they try to slip the kids in as if that's relevant. That Amazon is retaining the recordings of the kids waking up Alexa. It's going to work for kids too. It can't not work for kids or high-pitched voices. So Amazon is saying common sense, well, that isn't sufficient anymore. That much I know for sure, that it isn't sufficient. Common sense is vastly uncommon these days. Follow up on Friday's story also is that Victoria's Secret, JCPenney, and Kohl's holiday sales fell a bit. So, and that is from Victoria's Secret, I'm guessing, not JCPenney. And Kohl's, it was only 0.2%, so that wasn't much. Pretty much same as last year. And they said that I like the softness in women's apparel. And I thought, well, women's apparel is supposed to be soft. And then I realized that what they mean is lower sales in women's apparel was what took them down. They were not super fashion-y, which after you see the Victoria's Secret thing, but sales there plunged 12%, which they got a real branding problem, but we're not going to get into it. Whereas digital, men's, children's, and activewear and shoes all were up. So Penny's was down 7.5%, Victoria's Secret 12%. So I guess Kohl's did pretty well. Macy's was down a couple percent. So anyway, just keeping you up to date on that. And we did this one already. I wanted to talk about Grama Chic, and I wanted to actually the reason I wanted to talk about it was mostly because I liked this picture up here. Let's see if I can get it to load. I'll have a sip of coffee. And my mom had the same hat. She looked a lot better than this lady does. I think they deliberately put the weird glasses on her. But my mom had a hat like that and a fur coat. And in Wisconsin, it's a great idea. But basically what this article says is that people are missing out, brands are missing out because she has the money. And by 2040, women over 50 are going to be just kicking it all over the place. 28 billion. And women are projected to go to 38 billion, whereas right now they're at 21 billion. So it's going to be a big movement to jazz up Grama, and she's got the money. Basically, she's got the money, and most of us men are pretty much counting on our life insurance to take care of our wives because they're going to almost always outlive us. And if you don't believe it, look up "Survived by His Wife" on YouTube. It's hilarious. The problem here is older women aren't interested in fast fashion, which they think it's designed for women, younger women. Older women find the brands that market to them to be frumpy. Okay? But brands that might appeal to older women often don't market to them. There was a great presentation from Talbot's, how they quit mailing catalogs. Here's another idea. Mail catalogs. Keep mailing catalogs. Because us older people like catalogs. We have the time, and it's entertaining. And Talbot's decided that they didn't like the fact that their average age was 60-ish, and so they just basically stopped their marketing to older women and just made it all fun and fashion fad stuff. And after they went under and got rebought, they rethought that. and went back to mailing their catalog, and I think they're doing fine now. But they just about put themselves out of business, going all digital and going into the trendy. It's hard to compete in trendy, whereas classic wins. And Land's End is a great example of that. My wife just bought a. Keith is asking if I'm okay, which probably means I'm not streaming, and I'm not sure why that's not happening. But I'm getting red lights on here too, so that's not good. So we may have to start over again, and I've got a dental appointment. So let's end it here. I just wanted to get over here to the. I should record. That advertising agencies in England are overwhelmingly white or middle class. 51% of the people came out of the middle class. Very few from the lower class. 20%. White, just huge, and male, 50%. Well, so it's not like there are too many men, but I don't know what the rest of them are. What? This is 50. This is 30. So that only adds up to 80. So there's 20% that are something else. Oh, I guess that's in senior. That's in senior echelons. Yeah, it should add up, I would say. I don't know what. I don't know where that other 20% went and what they would be, but so I decided that I would just speak up and London centric. They're also big city people are in the ad business, and that there's a lot of truth to that too. So I just wanted to say that I'm in the ad business, such as I am. I'm not in the ad business. I'm actually anti the ad business, partly because when I got started, I was told that if you had a good idea and you tested it, you got the client to test it and it won, that you would go far. That it was all about ideas and testing and not about race, color, creed, or any of the other stuff that this article is highlighting. And I like that about direct marketing, and I would say that our industry has made a major shift from being 90% male when I got into about, I don't know, I would say 40, maybe. I would say, when you look at the Rising Star Awards, they're about 4/5 women, young women, at the conferences when I go see, the conferences. And so I expect it to be more women than men, and a lot of women run direct agencies. So if you're upset about discrimination, get into a field that rewards competence and isn't just based on clicks. And I would say the ad agency business is more clicks than it is competence if you look at the ads these days. So that said, we're going to sign off because we may not be working anyway, and I don't know why, but we'll figure it out. Have a great day. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Bye-bye.